First thing I like to say is good morning. Good morning to everybody. I don't know why I'm up. My baby was up in the middle of the night. And, I ain't been able to go back to sleep. But good morning, good night, however that goes for you. I come in love. I come in peace. I want to give um, straight up props and due respect to those that was here before me, my ancestors, forefathers, people that stood for things that got us this far in life as we are now, that stood for equal justice, equal equality, um, social justice, civil rights. I thank all the pioneers that got us this far as we are today. But as you know, in any generation, no matter how small or how big our part play, we gotta put our work in, because we gotta make it a little better, a step further for our kids to not deal with as much um, you know, things that may be bad that we don't want them to deal with. So I'm just taking my part and I'm just playing this video, and y'all can discuss it, or y'all, can watch it, get out it what you want to. I'm catching up on it just like you are. I just know it's an ongoing, everyday existence for myself and people that look just like me, as well as people that may be white, brown, orange, whatever. I just know in my life, I don't know nothing about no um, justice, equality. Um, I just feel like I've been treated like a second class citizen all my life, and it's either you're jumping on their, it's either you're jumping on, you either jumping on their squad and riding with them, or you're against them. And I guess I'm against them because I don't take the stance of trying to tear somebody else down just so I can look like I'm somebody. Let's get it, man. Nitty, D City, straight gritty, no pity. It's sad that this happened to this young man, but it done happen to plenty of people, and that's just the real sad part. It continues to happen. It don't stop, and people don't want to take responsibility for this silly PoPo system that we got, that's outdated and was meant to capture slaves and nothing to do with citizens today. The uplifting of a community. I never seen them do a damn thing but tear somebody down, man. So everybody might got their own, um, their own feelings about the popos. I'm just letting you know how majority of us feel in the hood, though. You know what I'm saying? So Um, Pick and choose how you like. It just keeps going on. It just keeps going on every day, regardless of how any one of us feel. It just keeps going on. So let's just get into it, man.
Attorneys for Tyre Nichols' family suggested a white cop involved in the victim's arrest got special treatment. Officer Preston Hemphill was placed on paid leave in connection to the fatal beating of Nichols. Why is his identity and the role he played in Tyre's death just now coming to light? The lawyers asked. 5 of 15 photos in gallery. The Memphis Police Department will permanently deactivate its Scorpion unit, the department announced Saturday, as protesters gathered for a second night of demonstrations over the killing of Tyre Nichols by 5 of the team's officers. The city had already announced it would hire an outside firm to investigate the unit, which was launched in 2021 and stands for Street Crimes Operation to Restore Peace in Our Neighborhoods. Read full story. Full screen. 5 of 15 photos in gallery. Copyright Memphis Police Department. Memphis Police Department says it will permanently deactivate the Scorpion unit whose officers beat Tyre Nichols. The Memphis Police Department will permanently deactivate its Scorpion unit, the department announced Saturday, as protesters gathered for a second night of demonstrations over the killing of Tyre Nichols by 5 of the team's officers. The city had already announced it would hire an outside firm to investigate the unit, which was launched in 2021 and stands for Street Crimes Operation to Restore Peace in Our Neighborhoods. Read full story. See more.
Are learning that a 6th police officer with the department has been relieved of duty in connection with the death of Tyre Nichols. NBC's Ellison Barber is back with us. Ellison, what more do we know about this officer?
Hey, Lindsay, so not a whole lot of details at this point in time, but a spokesperson for the Memphis Police Department confirming to NBC News that a 6th officer, as you said, who was involved in some way in the arrest, detainment, the incident and death of Tyre Nichols has been relieved of duty. They say that officer's name is Preston Hemphill, and again, they say he has been relieved of duty. The spokesperson would not go into details about whether or not he is on paid leave or on unpaid leave, but she did tell NBC News that the investigation is ongoing and that once there is additional information available, the department will provide an update on their social media platforms. This officer, again, his name is Preston Hemphill, was hired, according to this spokesperson, in 2018. That spokesperson would not tell our colleagues, Priscilla Thompson, whether or not he was relieved prior to today, or only confirming that he has been relieved of duty and that this is the 6th officer to be relieved of duty. Memphis Police Department, specifically as it relates to the detainment, the incident, and the death of Tyre Nichols. Online, there have been some local activists as well as a local paper, the Tennessee Holler, that were talking about this officer, one of those activists, and then that local paper noticed and mentioned that this individual's name, this officer, Officer Hemphill, that his name appeared in one of the affidavits. They were raising a lot of questions online. It was getting a lot of traffic on social media, asking what the status of this particular officer was. Through that, different papers reaching out, the police department then began confirming that this officer has been placed on leave. But again, the extent of his involvement, we're still waiting for more information on that. Lindsay.
Okay, Ellison Barber, thank you.
Attorneys for the family of Tyre Nichols, the black man who died after being beaten by police officers in Memphis, Tennessee, earlier this month, suggested on Monday that the only known white officer involved in the victim's arrest was getting special treatment.
The Memphis Police Department confirmed that Officer Preston Hemphill, who is white, was relieved of duty and put on paid administrative leave pending the outcome of the investigation.
The announcement came days after the country and away from cops in Memphis. She said she was pulled over on Thursday night and was nervous.
When an officer asked her why she was anxious, she responded, "Not all interactions end this way."
See more. Attorneys for the family of Tyre Nichols, the black man who died after being beaten by police officers in Memphis, Tennessee, earlier this month, suggested on Monday that the only known white officer involved in the victim's arrest was getting special treatment.
The Memphis Police Department confirmed that Officer Preston Hemphill, who is white, was relieved of duty and put on paid administrative leave. The outcome of the investigation.
The announcement came days after 5 fired Memphis police officers, all in the 29-year-old Nichols' death. An attorney for Hemphill told Insider on Monday that his client was the third officer at the initial stop of Nichols on January 7 and that he was never present at the second scene. Lawyers for the Nichols family said that Hemphill can be seen on body footage released by the Memphis Police Department last week violently pulling Nichols from his car while hitting him on the ground with a taser, later saying, "I hope they stomp his ass," after Nichols ran away. The news today from Memphis officials that Officer Preston Hemphill was reportedly relieved of duty weeks ago, but not yet terminated or charged, is extremely disappointing, Nichols family attorneys Ben Crump and Antonio Romanucci said in a joint statement. They added, "Why is his identity and the role he played in Tyre's death just now coming to light? We have asked from the beginning that the Memphis Police Department be transparent with the family and the community. This news seems to indicate that they haven't risen to the occasion." It certainly begs the question why the white officer involved in the brutal attack was shielded and protected from the public eye, and to date, from sufficient discipline and accountability, Crump and Romanucci said. Insider has asked the Memphis Police Department when exactly Hemphill was placed on administrative leave, but did not immediately receive a response. A Memphis police spokesperson told CNN that Hemphill had been on administrative leave since the beginning of the investigation. Meanwhile, the Shelby County District Attorney's Office said prosecutors could still file more criminal charges in connection to the fatal beating. "We are looking at all individuals involved in the events leading up to, during, and after the beating of Tyre Nichols," the District Attorney's Office said in a statement, explaining, "This includes the officer present at the initial encounter who has not, so far, been charged, Memphis Fire Department personnel, and persons who participated in preparing documentation of the incident afterward." The DA's office said it worked extraordinarily swiftly but thoroughly to charge those whose offenses were plain and clear and directly contributed to the death of Mr. Nichols, but in no way is this investigation over. While we are committed to transparency, we cannot comment on the details of an ongoing investigation or give previews of what charges we may or may not bring, it continued. See comments 646. Attorneys for the family of Tyre Nichols, the black man who died after being beaten by police officers in Memphis, Tennessee, earlier this month, suggested on Monday that the only known white officer in
We must overcome. We must overcome. We must overcome one day. One day. We must overcome one day. We must overcome. We must overcome. We must overcome one day.
Editor's note: this editorial was originally published July 13, 2021, as part of an ongoing USA Today editorial board campaign for police reform. It has been updated to focus on the tragic death of Tyre Nichols in Memphis, Tennessee. Ordinarily, no one should expect a traffic stop for a minor infraction to become a death sentence. But if you are black, you know the nightmare history of such stops. And there's always another tragic reminder. The most recent involves the horrific death of 29-year-old Tyre Nichols, who was pulled over January 7 by Memphis police, supposedly on suspicion of reckless driving. Nichols died 3 days after being severely beaten. 5 Memphis police officers involved in the traffic stop were fired and later charged with second-degree murder, assault, and kidnapping. A 6th officer was suspended Monday in connection with Nichols' death. Start the day smarter. Get all the news you need in your inbox each morning. The city of Memphis released videos Friday that show police officers dragging Nichols from his car after the traffic stop. The videos also show officers repeatedly kicking, punching, and hitting Nichols with a baton as he lay on the ground.
It was not a normal traffic stop, Philip Stinson, a criminal justice professor at Bowling Green State University, told NPR. They were not in marked vehicles, they were not wearing normal police uniforms, and they pulled him out of the car, got him down on the ground and pepper sprayed him.
Continue reading. See comments 1412.
Sponsored content. Denver, AP. an attorney for one of two law enforcement officers indicted in the fatal shooting of a 22-year-old man who was stranded along a road in a small mountain town and having a mental health crisis last year, is trying to have the charges thrown out against him. Attorney Christopher T. Brousseau, representing Clear Creek County Sheriff's Office Sergeant Kyle Gould, told a judge in court Monday that there weren't grounds to charge Gould with a crime. He said Gould was not among the officers who responded to help Christian Glass after his vehicle got stuck in the former mining town of Silver Plume in June. Brousseau said Gould only gave advice to the other officer accused of shooting Glass, Andrew Bune, based on the information provided to him. Gould was off duty and at home at the time, Brousseau said.